Magic Fantasies, Chapter 9 of Holographic Multiverse. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into Chapter 9 of my book Holographic Multiverse, called Magic Fantasies. And before you click away thinking this is some fantasy novel breakdown, hold up. This chapter is actually one of the most relatable things I've ever written about modern life, insomnia, and why our brilliant minds sometimes work against us. Have you ever been so exhausted that you can't fall asleep? Yeah, we're going there today. This isn't just about counting sheep. It's about the elaborate worlds we create in our heads when sleep refuses to come, and what that says about being human in 2025. So, grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's explore why sometimes our greatest superpower, imagination, can become our biggest obstacle to peace. When exhaustion becomes your enemy. Picture this: you've had one of those days, you know the ones, packed with responsibilities, self-discipline, trying to be a functioning adult. You're absolutely drained, not just physically, but spiritually. Your soul feels wrung out like an old dish rag. Our protagonist walks into their apartment, grabs some cereal and milk, flops on the sofa, and stares at the TV. But here's the thing, they're not really watching. They're just existing in that zombie state where you're too tired to think, but too wired to rest. Sound familiar? This is modern life, folks. We're constantly running on empty, but somehow can't find the off switch. The sacred pre-sleep ritual. Now here's where it gets interesting. Our character doesn't just collapse into bed. Oh no, they have a whole ritual. And honestly, I think we all do this in some form. First, the most comfortable cotton pajamas. It's like putting on armor, except this armor is meant to protect you from the world's chaos, not engage with it. Then comes the power move, turning off that alarm. Think about it. For those few hours, you're basically telling time itself to back off. No external demands, no obligations. It's your tiny rebellion against the clock that runs your life. They sink into the softness of pillows and blankets, feeling the warmth build up around them. But here's what really hits me. They have to actively work to forget all the problems and halt any thoughts. This isn't passive relaxation. This is mental warfare. They're literally battling their own brain to create an atmosphere for rest. Anyone else feel called out right now? The only peace they find initially is in the whisper of air passing through their lungs. Just breathing becomes this anchor to the present moment when everything else is chaos. When your brain decides to get creative. But suppressing thoughts? Yeah, that doesn't work for long. So our character pivots to something most of us do without even realizing it. They start creating elaborate fantasy worlds. And these aren't just random daydreams. These are meticulously crafted therapeutic landscapes designed to induce calm. Fantasy number 1. The perfect forest escape. Close your eyes and picture this with me. You're lying on a soft blanket in lush grass, under the perfect shade on a hot summer day. There's this gentle breeze cooling your skin, beech leaves rustling above you, creating these soft sound waves. The trees are this perfect mix of deciduous and evergreen, with darkened bark covered in moss and lichen. Sunlight filters through in dappled patterns. It's not wilderness, it's curated nature, like Mother Earth decided to design the perfect relaxation room. Our character's body starts sinking into this imagined blanket. Breathing slows down. This is nature as sanctuary, not as something to conquer or survive, but as a place designed for healing. Then they discover a path through the woods. Because who doesn't love a good mysterious path, right? It leads to this small lake fed by a crystal clear stream. But here's where the magic really begins. The mineral spring, nature's spa day. They find this hot mineral spring nestled between rocks with steam rising up like something from a fairy tale. Our character starts undressing, which, let's be honest, in Fantasyland never feels awkward, and steps into this naturally heated pool. The water is the perfect temperature, rising up to their chin as they sit on a smooth stone. Feel that with me for a second. Imagine heat penetrating your core, melting away all that accumulated coldness from winter, from stress, from life. Their hands are just floating, shoulders and neck completely relaxed, in absolute silence except for the gentle sound of water flowing through rock crevices. It's purification, not just physical but spiritual. The lake is literally washing away tension. This is what we're all seeking, isn't it? That perfect moment of complete, effortless peace. The meadow and the storm. After this thermal therapy session, they climb onto a rock to dry in the sun, looking out over woods and hills and blue sky with tiny white clouds. There's this profound sense of belonging, of finding myself in it. Then they journey to a hilltop meadow, soft grass mixed with clover and flowers, lying back watching clouds drift by. Pure, passive receptivity to beauty. But then, and this is where it gets real, the weather changes. Clouds darken, temperature drops, wind picks up, rain starts falling. Our character becomes helpless in the struggle with nature. Even in fantasy, we can't control everything. The rain forces them to retreat, not just from the meadow, but symbolically from the entire fantasy itself. The brutal morning reality check. And here's the gut punch. It was time to leave the paddock, and with my thoughts and awareness, I got back to the present. Eyes open, ceiling staring back. The harsh reality of the bed underneath. The clock reads 4:30 a.m. Despite all that beautiful imagery, all that complete relaxation in the fantasy world, still no sleep. Zero. Zip. Nada. Can you imagine? You just took this incredible mental journey through healing forests and purifying springs. You felt genuinely relaxed and peaceful, and you're still wide awake staring at the ceiling at 4:30 in the morning. The confusion and frustration are real. I could not understand why I could not sleep. And then, adding insult to injury, they need to use the bathroom. Because our bodies always choose the most inconvenient moments to remind us they exist, right? But here's what I love about our protagonist. They don't give up. Back to bed, determined. I decided to pursue my beautiful thoughts and fantasies in the hope that at some point I will fall asleep. That's hope in the face of repeated failure, people. Fantasy number 2. The beach and the bottle. So they try again. This time it's a tropical beach. Moist, warm air smelling of sea salt, gentle wind, soft sand, cold ocean waves washing away tiredness and anxiety. The ocean is clean and clear, another attempt at purification through water. But then something interesting happens. They find a message in a bottle. Now, finding a message in a bottle should be exciting, right? Like main character moment. But when they open it, it just says, "I love Mary." And suddenly this beautiful, solitary fantasy is interrupted by someone else's story, someone else's love, someone else's reality that has nothing to do with them. They recork the bottle and throw it back, releasing this foreign element back to its own journey. But the damage is done. The fantasy is contaminated by the reminder that there are other people, other stories, other realities beyond this carefully constructed inner world. It's at this exact moment that actual morning light starts entering through the window. Not the imagined tropical sun, but real dawn light. The fantasy literally dissolves in the face of reality. The magic that isn't magic. So where's the magic in magic fantasies? Because honestly, this sounds pretty frustrating. Here's what I think. The magic isn't in the fantasy working as intended. The magic is in what it reveals. First, there's the pure alchemy of imagination. The fact that your mind can transport you from a dark bedroom to a sun-dappled forest or tropical beach is genuinely miraculous. That's human consciousness doing its thing. Second, there's the therapeutic ritual aspect. These detailed fantasies are like casting spells for peace. Elaborate incantations designed to calm a restless mind. But the real magic? It's in the failure. The revelation that you can be deeply relaxed and completely awake at the same time. That profound peace and sleep are not the same thing. That your mind can create the most beautiful, healing experiences and still refuse to let you rest. The magic is tinged with melancholy because it shows us the limits of control. You can manage your routine, suppress thoughts, create elaborate therapeutic landscapes, but you cannot command your own unconscious mind to surrender to sleep. Why this matters beyond insomnia. This chapter isn't really about insomnia, though. It's about something much bigger, the modern human condition. We're all exhausted, not just physically, but from the constant effort of managing ourselves in a demanding world. Our minds won't shut off. Even when we try to relax, we're creating, planning, fantasizing, performing, even for an audience of one. Imagination is a double-edged sword. It's our superpower and our trap. The same mind that can create beautiful, healing worlds can also keep us awake with its own elaborate constructs. We're seeking authentic peace, but often settling for constructed relaxation. There's a difference between manufactured calm and genuine surrender. Self-awareness doesn't equal self-mastery. Our protagonist is incredibly aware of their state and strategies, but that awareness doesn't grant them control over their own unconscious processes. The dawn of acceptance. The chapter ends not with resolution, but with morning light and the weary decision to try the fantasies again. It's an acceptance of the ongoing struggle, a quiet perseverance that I find both heartbreaking and beautiful. Sometimes the deepest journeys happen not in sleep, but in the luminous, frustrating terrain of the wakeful night. Sometimes the most revealing experiences occur when we're desperately trying to escape our own consciousness. What this teaches us. Magic Fantasies shows us that healing isn't linear. Peace isn't something you can manufacture through the perfect mental technique. Sometimes our greatest strengths, creativity, imagination, the ability to transport ourselves mentally, become obstacles to the very thing we're seeking. But there's beauty in the struggle. There's magic in the raw, vulnerable act of striving for peace amidst exhaustion. There's something profound about a mind that seeks solace even when it cannot find silence. The chapter reminds us that sometimes what we think we need, the perfect relaxation technique, isn't what we actually need, genuine rest. And that's okay. The journey through these beautiful, sleepless landscapes teaches us something about ourselves that we couldn't learn any other way. Your turn. Have you ever been there? Lying awake despite being completely exhausted, your mind creating elaborate scenarios instead of just stopping. What fantasies does your brain conjure when sleep won't come? And here's the bigger question. What do you think your Insomniac fantasies reveal about what you're really searching for in life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, especially the 3 a.m. vulnerable ones when you can't sleep and you're watching YouTube videos about insomnia. I see you, and you're not alone in this. If this deep dive resonated with you, smash that like button, subscribe for more literary therapy sessions, and ring that notification bell because we're going places with these chapter analyses. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into the mysteries of the holographic multiverse, I invite you to check out my book. You can get your copy right now. Just follow the link in the description below. Your support not only helps me create more content, but also fuels this journey of exploration. Thanks for letting me share this vulnerable, beautiful, frustrating piece of the human experience with you. Sweet dreams when they finally come. And remember, even your sleepless nights have something to teach you. See you in the next video.